November's done, almost, and we're into the home straight of 2024. This is the week that was. With me, your host, Simon Brown, and we got all the boffins today. FNBs, Wealth and Investments, Chantal Marx, Sasfins, David Shapiro, Vestacts, Khumalo in a very fetching safari suit. It has been a meh week. I don't know, the US was closed yesterday, half day today. It's like...
Did you have turkey? What are you thankful for?
I don't eat
I'll start. I'm thankful for the great returns we've seen locally and offshore.
Well, I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for Mr. Price.
Exactly. I am thankful it's December, officially, in a few days' time.
So stop sending emails, guys.
Yeah, stop with the emails. David, what are you thankful for? Even wearing a tie.
I'm tired. This is my Back to the Future. Yeah.
Hold on, Back to the Future.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I'm tired of wearing open-net safari suits. I thought, no, today I'm going to dress smart. I've got a luncheon. Okay. It's our year-end lunch.
Okay, year-end luncheons. Let's talk fast. Markets this week, it really was a nothing burger of a week. They're okay.
You know what I mean? They're not going down. And you can't expect it to keep going up, keep going up. You can't expect the momentum. I'm thrilled, exactly as Bright said, I think, with what we've returned this year and the kind of gains we've made. It'll be another good year next year, but just take a break.
Yeah.
NASDAQ 29%.
I know.
Yeah, S&P 526. Come on.
I'm taking it. And Mr. Price, 80. I mean, there's been some stonking returns and not in the Colgo space, in like the big stocks.
Yes, I mean in the Colgo space as well, but in the big space or the big large cap space, if you just look at portfolio returns in Mr. Price, in the Foschini Group, Discovery this year.
Happy Tech.
Discovery.
Yes, it's been an incredible year of recovery for stocks that were just very cheap at the start of the year, and I think just getting a really nice boost post-election.
I've got to say something there. You see what you make when you buy individual stocks.
Yes.
Because if you bought the index, the Aussie, you're up 8%. I'm sorry.
That's why I'm a big stock man. And I like to buy individual companies.
It's a stock picker's year, yeah.
Yes, so you do get years where just buy the index and then years where it's a stock picker's market.
Don't kill my market.
But I think that is very true for where we are in the US market right now.
Yeah.
Great, 29%, but you still would have done better picking stocks. Yeah. And now that valuations are so stretched, I think going into next year, you're still better off picking stocks.
Okay. So we'll be here picking stocks. Also making news this week. Gauteng plans a 200 billion rand airport next door to our Tambo. They also want residents to adopt a robot, and the city of Joburg has been awarded first place as the best African smart city. None of that was a joke. I mean, it is, but it's also apparently true. The government wants to host the 2036 Olympics, still not joking. The first local ETF listed 24 years ago this week, the Satrix 40. Amarula wins its trademark dispute. Coffee futures hit an all-time high, and now we can't afford to wake up in the morning. Goldman Sachs says local inflation will be only 3.3% next year. A banana taped to the wall sells for 6.2 million. Still not joking. And if you're upset about Orange One winning, an Italian village is offering you a home for €1. While Jay-Z is finally out of the ANC and he's not happy. But first, let's start with that orange felon who has his court case for stealing the last election, withdrawn because he won this election. No, we don't understand either, but nor do we look forward to the next 4 years. After his latest tweet rage, he threatened Mexico and Canada with 25% tariffs if they didn't stop immigrants and fentanyl. Rather, a few days later, he tweeted he had won them over. David, we are in for a wild 4 years.
You know, I think all you're learning is that policy will be set by whom Mr. Trump talks to in the last tweet. Yeah, his last tweet. So after the Mexico debacle, he met the president and he came back and said, this is wonderful. So the peso, which had gone this way, went this way, and that's what's going to happen. So you have no idea what we're in for, but just enjoy the ride.
You had no thought.
No, I do have some comments because most Southeast Asian importers, exporters, sending their stuff to the US were bypassing sort of the
tariffs.
Tariffs by going to Mexico, exactly. And then truckloads of these goods were going into America, and obviously they have good relationships with Mexico. So, but they're not made in Mexico. They're not bringing any. There's no economy in Mexico. because they're not manufactured there. So I understand why Trump would actually look at this and say
that would be a great argument by Trump, but that's not the argument
he made.
He tweeted about fentanyl and illegal caravans coming into the United States and didn't say anything about the movement of goods.
No, but the source of where all of this is coming from is because of that.
Why doesn't he say so?
No,
That's the problem with Trump, right?
Yeah.
It's because
It's Trump.
you don't know what he's actually trying to achieve with any of this. It's all so erratic. It's so unplanned. It's like a...
But this has been an ongoing issue even during the Biden administration, which they were looking the other way.
Sure. But you've got 4 years of Trump tweeting nonsense.
Exactly.
And absolutely, like tweeting nonsense, and it creates unnecessary panic, because if he wanted to actually talk to Mexico or Canada about it, he could have contacted them directly through diplomatic channels. It doesn't have to be a crazy tweet and then all this chaos in currency markets just to get to the same result you would have gotten to net.
But some say his methods are efficient. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which camp.
Him and the First Lady. Melania Trump, what's her name? Melania Musk. So both of them have got the same character, both of them do exactly the same thing. Make a lot of tweet first.
Buckle in, kids, it's going to get wild. Parks Tau, the Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition, is seeking to overturn the Competition Tribunal plan blocking Vodacom's deal to buy a stake in Remgro's fibre business. Odd and Lotsel's seeing as he oversees the competition authorities, but businesses smiling and cabinet ministers doing their job. And not a joke. I mean, this is really a minister. Now we can, whether the deal's good or bad. This is a minister saying, "Hang on a sec."
Yeah, and for the right reason. Sorry.
No, I'm not a fan of Parks Tau.
No,
it's the problem is not Parks Tau. I'm just not a fan of political individuals. So that's just me.
You don't like politicians.
Yeah, but I mean, what was wrong with the deal with Massive and Vodacom in the first place? And I'm happy that is actually coming in between this and actually. Maybe logic will prevail. I don't know, man.
There's a lot of question marks around some of the recent decisions that the Comcom and Competition Tribunal has made. It does seem like a bit of regulatory overreach.
Yes.
So I mean, perhaps.
Parks Tau is
this is a good deal.
We need. Yeah, it was.
I don't care whether Remgro's got huge amounts of money and Vodacom.
21.
But you want to have widespread coverage of 5G and. Otherwise, you go to the game reserve, who's going there, and you try to get 4G or 2G or whatever, you can't get it. And I know that you're supposed to relax there, but sometimes there are times when you actually need...
Emergencies, for example.
And key to this argument also by Vodacom and Remgro is that they are planning a massive rollout into low-income areas. And it is vital for economic development in those areas to actually have broadband access.
That's the point.
That's the whole point. And they cannot do that as separate entities. They need the scale to roll out fibre.
And corporates say they're helping the poor, with respect. I never believe them. The Zama Miners at StillFontein are reportedly coming to the surface, but there's a bigger issue here of what happens to abandoned mines. Jana Marais, writer at FM, and my fave former editor, has thoughts especially on why they target gold.
Firstly, gold is a wonderful metal to be dealing with if you are in the business of money laundering and organized crime. It's very hard to trace. Unlike diamonds, for example, we've seen with the Kimberley process where you can actually follow the provenance of the diamond. It's very, very difficult with gold. Gold is a store of value. It's easy to melt. It's easy for people to get it out of rock. So, you need some mercury or you need some cyanide, and you can actually get to quite a refined version of the metal to start selling. So there's huge demand for it, and it's easy to get out of the rock. You don't see it, for example, in platinum group metals. You don't see the same level of illegal mining because it's really hard to get the platinum group metals out of the rock.
Simon, are they mining the walls? This is what worries me.
They're mining the walls.
Because those walls are in place. Yeah.
But there's a bigger story here, which also came this week but got uncovered. So when you are a miner, you then have to do your official closing. There's a whole process. And then you apply for a mine closure certificate from government. Government hasn't been issuing the certificates because as soon as they do, now it becomes government's problem. So what happens is the mining companies technically go bankrupt because they can't support an old mine forever and a day.
Do you believe it's a human rights issue as old Helen Zille is saying. And
how's it a human rights issue?
Exactly. So why don't they take her in a makarapa and go underneath and fetch those people if it's a human rights issue?
But the issue is that government is turning the other way. We've got thousands of these,
and corporates are known for cutting corners.
Massively
so this is not
dangerous.
New. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
And reports of
because
down there.
The walls are left there to protect the shafts.
So
I mean, just to protect the collapse.
So that Lily mine collapse.
Lily mine collapse.
Yep.
It's said that was because of illegal miners mining the walls. So that structure collapsed inwards because the mine collapsed inwards because there was massive illegal mining there. And I think that you can expect similar things to happen if this problem doesn't get nipped. And I won't say in the bud because it's now in full bloom and there's a whole field.
And it's not the Northwest the only issue, because we also know here the south of
Mpumalanga
and Mpumalanga.
So one day Joburg's going to sink into a big hole.
Into a pool of acid wastewater type horrible goo, yes.
That's why I shouldn't invest.
Have you been into the basement of Standard Bank down Simmons Street? But yeah, I mean, it is. And to Jonas' point, gold is, 2,600 an ounce, absolutely. Before the break, MicroStrategy buys another bunch of Bitcoin worth 5.4 billion. But even that can't get the crypto through 100,000. Bright, you were tweeting about this in the week. What's this?
It's very circular. It looks like, I don't know, some sort of scheme, as you would say, because you raise bonds using obviously your corporate balance sheet, and you take that cash, you buy Bitcoin, which it goes up, and then you go again to borrow more money to buy the same. I don't know. It's at some point logic will prevail. This thing will collapse, and obviously the people that are selling, obviously, I'm assuming, are the big whales of crypto. So there's only one dumb person here. His name is Michael Saylor.
Okay. Except for the part it's working in. Someone on Twitter.
Well, it works until it doesn't. Remember in the last cycle?
Yeah, every Ponzi works until it doesn't.
Exactly.
Yeah. Someone was equating him to Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway, and I'm like, I don't think you know who Buffett is and what Berkshire Hathaway is.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
No, actually, I don't have words.
No, so this is not the worst part. The worst part is that his model is being taken as the truest and the foremost, model that you needs to be duplicated by other countries.
And no cash flow to pay back the bonds.
No, there's no cash flow because crypto doesn't give any cash flow. He has to wait for another bigger idiot to sell to pay back the bonds.
Okay.
And if he can't pay the bonds, he needs to convert them to stock, which it absolutely makes no sense.
They're convertible. After the break, we've got exciting listings, results galore, and how about an Italian village for the price of an espresso?